burst into the Shark Tank an inventive couple with a new take on the traditional baby shower.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having us today. I'm Hani. This is Meray, my wife, and this is our new invention, Charli Chair. It's a baby shower chair.
Welcome, ladies and gents, to another episode of Legacy and Lux. Today, we've got with us the masterminds of a product that combines both innovation and functionality. It's a product that I'm sure a lot of families are very familiar with and probably have at home. It's Charli Chairs. Now, we've got with us today the owners and founders of Charli Chairs, Hani and Meray Yassa. Lovely for you both to join us today.
Hello.
How are you?
Thanks for having us.
No, thank you for being here. We're very excited to have you here.
Thank you.
So I think the first thing that we want to dive into was the foundation and the origins of Charli Chairs. Can you take us through early days and what that was like?
Well, it actually was, I was sitting on the desk. Meray went shopping. She came home frustrated. She said, went to a baby store and they pretty much kicked me out. I asked them for a shower chair and they don't have it. And I was like doing my work and it's like a light bulb moment. I go, what did you say? She goes, shower chair, so I don't have to bend down. I go, because I used to help her. I did. And I used to bend down. It used to kill my back. It wasn't just like you're bending down. You're there for like 10 minutes at a time, over the bath, killed the knees, killed the back. So it's like, wow. I said, so lucky at that time I just finished my MBA. And I said to Meray, please draw for me. So literally what we have today is what she drew. So we've got it mechanically engineered. We've got a patent for it, registered the patent for it. And then, we took us 2.5 years after that to bring it into production.
Wow. And the quality of it is really good. I've seen it. And I think the way it's designed really focuses on the functionality of it, like I said. But also it shows the innovation and the way you brought the design to life and how you had families in mind. So I think that also speaks to the quality of the product when you're firsthand experiencing the hardships of having a baby and, showering them, and then you built that to life and now families can get to enjoy that. And
I think, like some of the features, like as parents, you needed the harness because, if you're going to use it as a shower chair and you need to have a shower and you're going to have soap in your eyes, you need to have that for those 2 seconds so the baby doesn't come out of the chair. And I think Meray said, okay, we need also height adjustments. There's some tall people, there's short people in wheelchairs or whatever. So it's important to have that variable sort of different heights. And it reclines back as well for the newborns and then when they get a little bit older for toddlers. So it's just thought of everything.
The main idea, we just wanted to have something that was going to be safe for the child as well as saves months back.
Yeah.
I think that's essentially where we were going with it because I knew I had back problems. I didn't want people struggling with that.
Yeah. No, and we can see that how accessible it is as well with the height adjustments as well. So for those that are not aware, Hani and Meray actually then went ahead a month after launching, which actually not a lot of people that go on Shark Tank do. They went ahead onto Shark Tank and showed their product to the sharks at the time.
So actually, it wasn't out yet at that time.
Oh, really?
It actually wasn't selling when we were on the show. And so the numbers that we gave them was a projection and they were telling us, well, it's a new product. How do you know that it's going to achieve all of this? But we knew because of my
you
own
were confident.
background.
Yeah, you were
Exactly.
confident in the product.
Exactly.
And we can see that now years and years later, how well it's done.
Yeah.
Take us through that experience, preparing for Shark Tank, being on the show. How was that like?
Well, the initial stage is you have to show it off to the producers. So the initial things at a hotel, I think it was at the Novotel in the city, and you have to sort of convince them they have to like it. Lucky for us, a lot of them were parents. So they were all in awe of the product and absolutely loved it. Then I think out of 1,000 people, only 103 people get in. And then the next stage is they say, okay, you need to now put a valuation on the product. So here I am. Okay, let's take 100% of the market, not 5% or, as you do. And, I value the business about $30 million.
No, not to that extent, but we did overvalue it only because we believed in it so much.
Yeah.
So when we spoke to the producers, they were like, you need to,
No, he called me. He said, look, I really love your
he
product, but listen, the way it works, it doesn't work like that. If you're going to value the business, it has to be on real life projections and what have you. And I don't want you to sort of, because on Shark Tank, if you don't get a yes, you don't actually go on air. Because I really need this to be on air because it's a really good product. You need to be realistic. So we've had to fine tune it down to 1% of the market or whatever it was at the time when we made it. So
And then you made it on air, yeah?
made it on air, we got a yes. But after the show, we didn't proceed. So
Which is fair enough.
It was mainly for marketing purposes, really.
Yeah.
We wanted to get our product out there and we want people to hear about it, and what better way than to be on TV?
Yeah, definitely. And I've seen the way you guys presented it to the Sharks. You were very confident with your numbers.
They play around, they edit it, they make us look silly. Well, hang on, I didn't say that then. I said it there. And, they sort of edit, cut and paste a lot of
Oh, okay. So they edit the way things are presented.
It's so naughty.
Just for the audience watching. And they make it seem very intense that people, like the Sharks, are pushing back and arguing about the numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easygoing than how it appeared.
A little bit more relaxed. It took like about I think it was an
45
hour.
minutes at least,
Yeah.
It was
And they cut it down to a 5-minute segment. So
That was very short. Yeah. But I think like the editing that comes into play, and I think they like to extend it out as much as possible and then see the little bits and pieces that they can put on air for people to see. No, but it was great. And as I said, we can see now like how it's come to fruition, and the product has definitely flourished since. I think one thing that I'd like to highlight before we also get into the growth and challenges of getting Charli Chair to what it is the both of you as a team behind the business. I always believe that products are only products that people can buy, but it's the people that make the product and is what makes it succeed as well. So the one thing that I want to call out with this is you made a product for families and to help families, but the way it's succeeded is you're a family that's been through it. I'm also a believer, I'm not sure if I'm being biased because I'm a female, a female that's successful is always not behind, but she supports her partner. And I see it from the both of you, even on the Shark Tank interview. Meray was there from the very beginning. She, the values and the ethics of a woman help a man succeed. She's pushed you to your best potential. Hani, same time, you've got the business acumen that, you thought this was a perfect product. You went through and designed it as such, but you kind of made a power couple that then made the product happen, and you were able to present it in a way that essentially succeeded in the market. And it comes to show that success comes and stems from your personal life into your professional life. Because I think people always miss that, where they think you can succeed in your professional life if you're not succeeding in your personal life. I disagree with that. And this, you guys are personifying that, really.
Yeah, you need to play on your strength. My strength was obviously to draw. I love drawing things, and to draw the chair from the get-go, the ideas of it. Hani, his strength was the business side. He did an MBA, so he knew how to, start up or who to reach in order to get this product out there. So we need to work on our strength in terms of our relationship with business, for example. I know my strength isn't the business side. My strength is probably the people side. So when we go to expos, I can play on their, not play, but I can work on their... You can
understand them as individuals and their needs.
Exactly. I know their needs because I've been there.
But also on the expos, I think that you make a really good point there. We had to also learn from the market. We had to learn from the people. So initially we had the original Charli Chair. So that didn't fill up with water. That was the original one, the orange and white one. So we got a lot of the customers' feedback. People are buying it, some are not buying it. The couple of things that they pointed out, I wanted it to have water and maybe different colour. So this is where we sort of developed the new Charli Chair, the 2-in-1, which has the bath feature. So it fills up, keeps the baby nice and warm. So we've just catered for those customers that we were missing out on. We've made it in a lighter material, in aluminium, had that little crossbar so for further stability and what have you. So there's a few things I think you have to have that, you have to adapt, you have to listen to the customers and be there to hands-on to understand your product, understand your competition, but understand also why they're not buying it.
Yep.
Or why they're buying it, you know, so you know
What they need.
how to, exactly what the real need is.
And that also reflects the values of Charli Chair and the organization, where it's people focused. You're not focused on the bottom line like a lot of people and
right.
just getting a product out. You're focused on the people and their needs.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really succeeded in the long run, because that's essentially what you're all about as a business, and you can see it as people as well.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
And they see our genuineness in not trying to sell the product, but to they know that we're trying to solve a problem that they genuinely do have.
Yeah. And you keep adapting it as well, because the market always changes, needs change.
The market, the demographics, even now these days, what's in favor for our business is there's a lot of new apartments without a bath. A bath these days are not part of the equation in building. So I think with any solution, like if you buy a baby bath on a stand, you're only going to use it for 4 months, and then you're on the ground washing your baby. So I think and John McGrath picked up on that in Shark Tank.
Because he was in real estate.
And that was like 10 years ago, right? And 11 years ago. And he knew what's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby bath, the bath aren't going to be around. Very, very rare. So, yeah.
That's a really good point. I can't imagine having a baby and trying to shower them in a
right.
standing shower. That'd be
Look, some
and there's also
parents-
dangers to it.
There is.
Someone can slip.
We
Yeah,
hear that at the experts. Oh, yeah, I just carry my baby. God, no. We tried that.
We
Just-
tried that.
With a bit of soap, they slide through like accordion time. But
And what if the parent slips and you've got the baby in your hand? Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a disaster.
This is safer.
yeah.
No, that's great. You guys were able to solve that.
Yeah.
But the other thing also that's good, that'll be good to see in terms of, any growth and challenges. You guys, at the end of the day, are married, and I think having a business as well at the same time, how are you able to separate from being husband and wife and having husband and wife conversations and then being business partners? How do you not let business fall into the home?
I think everyone plays their role. Like Meray knows I've got it from the business side, and I sometimes, you have to accept sometimes I'm very optimistic. She's not pessimistic, but realistic.
Realistic.
Right? And like sometimes, no, what do you, like, yeah, right, fair enough, So we you have to sort of learn that, and you can't always think you're always 100% right. I think as you grow, what do you think? It's better to ask, get a second opinion of what we should do, how to approach something. Like now we're thinking about making it into a high chair, so we're developing things like that. So I can't just go ahead and produce it. I have to check with Meray, her opinion as a mother also, like, what do you think? Is this something that will be, have a need for in the market? So, yeah.
But how we separate at home is like our beliefs, our belief system. Yeah, we're Christian by faith, and according to what we are taught, each person has a role.
Yeah.
And I respect him as my leader, and he respects me as his right-hand man, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm the head and she's the neck. Neck moves the head.
No, I get what you mean. And I really respect that, and I like that you called it out, because I think people, like society these days, have made it sound like it's a bad thing.
Exactly.
In reality, it's not, because I think it's been twisted where a female has her own powers.
Yeah.
Like, we can be level-headed at times.
Sometimes emotional too, right?
We can be
Like-
emotional too, that's true.
You got to separate that in business. You can't be emotional. You can't. You got to just work and adapt to it.
That's true. And the one thing that you called out, like men, for example, can be very optimistic. I think as a female, we can challenge you at times and tell you've got more to do, or, we can keep working at it, but we'll get there in the end. And I think that's, again, what you brought up in terms of being his right-hand man and telling him, honey, we can steer in this direction and that sort, and he can trust you. There's the concept as well of loyalty and trust. That's very rare again these days, but it's what makes people succeed, especially partnerships, knowing that you can trust your partner, and then that's how you'll succeed in the business and you'll succeed in the personal life. And it filters down to your kids too, where this is the legacy that you're building for them, that they'll probably take over when it's their time, and then it'll pass through generations.
I just came back from Germany. I took my eldest with me, a huge trade show there, so was a lot of fun.
Is he excited?
He was very excited.
Yeah. I can imagine. It's always, I think, the best part of being a parent when you've got a business is seeing your kids coming into it. And I think it makes you see the seeds that you've planted coming to life. And I think that's the most part that you'd feel successful about, really, seeing your kids getting into the business.
Charlie Rose, she's what, 13? When we go to the expos, the local expos, she does more sales than all of us. People would say,
people love her.
I like it. I'll tell you, she's so good.
See, that's the best part. Yeah. And it's coming straight from a child that it's named after her, right?
Yeah.
She firsthand got to use it.
No, well, she missed out.
She missed out?
She was 2.5 by the time we finished building it in production in stores. So it was,
It's all right. It was named in her honour. So I think that counts for something, right?
Definitely.
No, that's really good. Now, you started right here in Australia and it's now distributed worldwide, and we're talking like all Western countries, really. You've got countries like the UAE and Saudi Arabia, so even in the Middle East. What have you learned?
Actually gave it to Chris Fade from Dubai Bling.
Yeah, we know Chris Fade, which actually, again, speaks to how well the product has done, because Chris Fade's really big in Dubai, and I'm sure he gets offered tons of products, but you got to meet him firsthand. He loved the product and spoke highly of it. That, again, comes to show the quality of it and how people can see that it's something very worthwhile to have at home. So, no, that's really good. So what have you learned about taking this global, and what were the opportunities that you were able to take to reach that point?
Yeah. So, as I said before, we go to this show in Germany every year. It's a trade show with all the distributors and retailers that come to the show, and you get to show off your product there on a world-class level there against all the other big brands. So it's important to find the right distributor, because it's one thing to find someone that can buy your product, but what's important is for them to have it in the right distribution channels, in the physical stores, to be able to have the right social media to play its role behind it to introduce the brand into the new market. We struggle sometimes to find the right distributor, but we've had a few here and there, but it's so far so good. The ones that we have now doing a really good job. So
there's a lot of trial and error. Because we didn't know anybody that started a product from scratch. And so when we heard about the trade show and we went, when distributors were approaching us, we were like so excited by it. And bit by bit, we've learned over the years to pick and choose who our distributors are based on what we've learned in the past. So a lot of our business is all trial and error.
Yep. Yeah, it all happened behind the scenes, but you got to that point in the end.
That's right.
Yeah. But I think people think that things are overnight successes, but in reality, there's a lot of trial and error.
A lot of work.
A lot of man hours go into it until you get to the very end. So what were the challenges that you guys faced as you went through this?
Well, look, for example, you may get a really big distributor that has multiple brands. To get them to pay the attention that our brand deserves, sometimes it's hard because, they're proud to have it and they have it in the stores, but what's the use of having it in the stores or having the brand if the end consumers know about it and they have no marketing for it? So what we do here is what we expect them to do is, always have the social media running and the ads running, and have it, of course, in the physical stores, because it's important for mums and dads. They want to be able to feel and touch the product. And sometimes you just, you find the distributors, they don't do that. They expect it to be sell on its own.
An easy sell like any other product, but this is an innovative product that isn't on the market, and we're the only ones on the market. So having them to understand that, you think they would, but they don't.
You need to actually show them, explain, fight back essentially to get them.
Set the right expectation. If you're going to have our brand, this is what we need. Yes, one thing's having it into the stores, you need that, but you've got to, do the social media side of things and make it present in the country properly and run, spend a bit of money on marketing, because it's important.
Definitely.
Even here in Australia, continuously,
definitely
we
marketing.
spend a lot of money on
big
marketing
time.
to let people know to what it's about, to just educational side, and it's an ongoing process.
I think that's really good, because with a product like this, it's I think a lot of people like to follow the rules and don't break the standards that are already out there. So people always stick to what they know and don't come out with innovative products because, you know, they're like, oh, what would people think about it? Oh, I don't know how I would sell this. Yeah. You're on the other hand, you were confident in the product, you put it together, you knew you were meeting a need that no one has met before. And you were breaking the rules, essentially telling people that you don't need to shower your kids this way. There's other methods to it. Yeah. And this is here right away.
Correct.
But you need to be able to tell the distributors and people as well how that can help. And that's the educational part that you're working on. That's why I think marketing definitely helped over here. Yeah. And even from the very get-go, we can see what it does. Like even from that 5-minute segment that you got on Shark Tank, you can see how helpful of a product it can be, essentially. But the one challenge that I would probably ask you on, I think a lot of entrepreneurs struggle when they first start out, when people second guess them. And a lot of people fail because they let it get to them. You didn't. So what sort of advice would you give about that?
Have a person like Hani behind you because he's very optimistic and he doesn't take no for an answer.
Every no is a maybe.
That's how he sees it. I'm one of those people that if you say no, okay, I back off straight away. Yeah. Hani doesn't back off. And then you'll find that people that have said no to me would definitely say yes to Hani. It's the persistence. And not just the persistence, the belief in your product. And
when we first entered the market, the biggest thing for us, or people were saying, oh no, this is a special needs. That's all they kept saying. Thinking, no, it's not. This is for every mum and dad. And one of our favourite retailers at the moment is Baby Bunting. Oh man, I took the bed backwards and forwards with the buyer. This is really good. Shall I send you a sample? We kept going, for over a year. Yeah. And then we went on air with the Shark Tank literally the next day or with the next week. She called. She goes, look, a lot of people coming into our store wanting your product. I think it's time.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah. But again, it comes to speak as to how needed it is and how well it's doing.
That's right.
But I think also what I'd like to ask is to get to the point where people are constantly needing the product, how do you keep on top of the changing market and adapting with the needs of people? Like I know you go to the expos and ask people, what changes would you like to see? But is there any other avenues that you can look at or you look at to get that?
Just aesthetics, sometimes different colours. So we've got a new one that we've just brought out, black on black. And that's been selling like hotcakes. It's doing really well.
And it's much more expensive.
We've paid a little more for the colour and what have you, but people are paying for it. They're prepared to pay for it. Yeah. We're not reducing that price on that because we've only got limited stock. So it's a bit of a strategy as well, so not to bring in a lot to make it more sort of, exclusive, limited edition sort of thing. But you have to sort of see what's out there in the market. I mean, realistically, all we've got is baby bath on stands. That is our competition. So we've got the patent for till 2036. It's another 11 years. So it's important just to understand your end consumer. So.
Yeah, because you're people focused, like I said earlier, and you can see that with how you keep on top of it. And what qualities do you think that you have, the both of you, that you think is what made the product succeed? Because I'm a firm believer that a product won't succeed on its own without the right people behind it. So what do you have?
Look, I guess talking about us, more the design is more Meray. She wanted something that is light, that can fit into a shower because, obviously it also fit into a shower over a bath. That was something that's important because there's a lot of units out there that may have the old bath. So that design side, I think I left that to Meray and I think it worked out really well. And even the aesthetics of the cushions, it's important to have, the right colours. So I guess I had to go to China and work out all the right materials. So the cushion, for example, is polyurethane. So it took us a while to find the right material, something that doesn't sort of absorb water because it's in water all the time. So this one doesn't absorb water. Initially, when we made the product, it was metal, zinc treated, so we thought that's the best way to deal with it. then it rusted a little bit, and then we've had to make some changes. People had to keep replacing the legs and so I went to the factory and said, "This is costing us a lot, ongoing replacements and delivery fees." So we ended up paying a little bit more for the next batch for stainless steel.
Yeah.
So that doesn't rust. So we've had to adapt in the market. And then when the new one came, that's in aluminium, so it's a little bit lighter in weight, so it's easier to carry around. And all we're doing now is just, I guess, playing around with the colours and potentially, we're trying to build a high chair leg for it as well. So,
So basically being open to change, knowing that your product is not going to ever be absolutely perfect. I think where people struggle is, no, my product is perfect, there's nothing wrong with it, take it as it is. No, we were happy to change it depending on the market, depending on what the feedback people were giving us, and the persistence in all of that. Like, happy to change, and then being persistent in trying to explain that this is why we've changed it, and giving them those options.
Yep.
So, I think the main characteristics that we have is, number one, persistence, and number two, being open to change.
Yep. And I can see it speaking to the both of you. You're very invested in the product itself. You've got the product knowledge, but you've also got the characteristics that takes it through to the very end where people get to buy it. And I think this is something the listeners can listen on to if they've got a business they'd like to start out, that you need to know your product very well, which, as you can tell through Hani and Meray, they do. But you need to also have the characteristics, take it through the very end, be persistent. You need to know that people have adapting needs, and that can be seen through Charli Chair and the stages that you've gone through to get to the very end, how you keep uplifting the product every single time. And it's on the move up, which is really good. But that also shows how you're maintaining the success, because I think people think if you succeed, that's it. But success isn't really a glass ceiling. You need to be able to maintain it.
That's right. 100%.
Yeah.
It's not static, it's dynamic. So the ceiling keeps rising and you need to keep rising with it.
Yep.
No, I like that. That was good.
No, that's great advice. I think it's been really good. I think we'd like to know, where do you see Charli Chair in the next 5 years?
Look, we've had opportunities where, when I was at the show last year, Target USA approached us and they wanted to sort of white label it with another big brand. So potentially, maybe if one of the big brands can come in and sort of co-brand with us, and we can expand. I mean, we're in a few countries now, but imagine being in all worldwide, that'd be even better. But it's just timing. Obviously, the brand is getting known more and more. It takes a long time to, for that brand to get out there.
Yep, of course.
So,
but you've done really well already. Like I said, the fact that it's not a national brand, this is something people are getting worldwide, just speaks to its success, right? Because I think people can reach to Australia-wide and stop there.
That's right.
But if you can break the barriers of international.
Well, I think it's important you say that, because we initially, let's go straight away to the US and go into, China or what have you. But I think what's important, what's realistic in business is, if you're from Australia, I think clean up your own backyard first. Set that up, make sure it's running well, understand all the flaws, because we've had some issues at the beginning, as I told you, where it rusted because it was the wrong material. So you have to sort of go into that market, clean it up, make sure you address all the issues, fix it, and just show as an example from your own country how well it's doing, so other distributors can see what you do, so they can adapt as well.
No, that's great advice. And because there's different countries with different needs, if you clean up your backyard, like you said, you're able to focus on one segment at one time.
Correct.
And then that means you're meeting everyone's needs in a quality way where nothing slips through the cracks.
Correct.
But again, that's what made the product succeed, because I think people want a quick win, not long-term wins.
Yeah.
And I think that's the bit of advice that you can probably also extend from what you've said, is that you didn't look for the quick wins. You were looking for long-term quality, sustainability, making sure that the needs were met over a long time.
Correct.
And that customers come back as well, because customer longevity is something that a lot of businesses also struggle with, where they can buy a product once but not come back for it again.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we get a lot of referrals. We see on the Shopify, how did you know about us? That's friend referral. It's the biggest thing. It's so good.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing a business can have, word of mouth. Because people, once they say they like something, they trust their friends and their family to give the best advice. And if they love it, they'll buy it. The whole family will buy it. And
we find that at the expos every year we go. People are coming and saying, "Oh, my friend actually told me I have to buy this, so I'm here just to buy it."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, fair enough. Do you know how it works?"
Yeah, I know all about it.
I've seen it. Yeah, I love it.
That's amazing. Yeah. Honestly, that's amazing. And it reflects again how you've used family values to really uplift the business. And I love seeing that.
One of my favorite things at the expo is when we're showing a new mum, you know, the product, and you know, you're concentrating with a customer, and another set of parents come through with their pram, with their baby. Oh, we've got a Charli Chair. Absolutely love it. I go, unpaid advertising right there. You know, it's such a good feeling.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, it's like when they're walking past and they're saying that. So,
yeah. No, that's really good to hear and see, honestly, because, again, you don't see a lot of people behind the business many times, and it's nice to see the values are coming from the people behind the product, not just the product. And it's what made Charli Chair succeed, in my opinion, to be honest. It's because people can see the time and effort you put into it. They can see the family values going into it and the love that comes out of it. Like, the love for your child just turn into a product, and people want to feel that too. I think at the end of the day, when people buy a product, they may buy it for usage, but also, you know, the love and the feeling that comes from behind it, and they just makes someone want to buy it, to be honest.
Thank you.
But thank you for being here with us today. And it was lovely to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.